You had a gun?
I was going to get one.
So you said you were going to get a gun?
Yeah, but I wasn't going to get it. Really?
And you said you were going to do what with the gun?
Oh, I was going to, I don't know. I was angry. I said, I'm going to threaten them, or maybe just shoot or something. I had no idea. I mean, I was threatening.
Oh, I love it. Apple TV is pulling back the curtain on acclaimed filmmaker Martin Scorsese. A new 5-part docuseries gives a brand new look into Scorsese, from his early student films to his most iconic moments behind the camera.
Wow, the director behind this project, Rebecca Miller, joining us here in studio. Welcome and congratulations.
Thank you so much.
So let's start off. This is, and we were talking about this before we came on here, it is such an intimate look at Martin Scorsese. So what even made you want to do this in the first place? You said a 20-hour interview with him. I mean, there's a lot to get into.
Oh, yeah. I mean, over a period of 5 years, of course.
But yeah, it took a little time to get sitting down.
It wasn't one marathon. But yeah, I just, you know, I was so interested in, on the one hand, his spiritual life as a Catholic, and then the sort of fascination with violence in some of the films. And I was like, how does that go together in one human being? Any kind of thing that doesn't go together always interests me. And of course, he's, you know, a great, great artist. But, and also I knew him a little bit, so I had a sense that we might get along and it might be a good match. And he said yes, so.
He does ask the existential question, even within the trailer to the documentary, of are we inherently good or are we inherently evil? And I think that really resonates with so many people, kind of even in this day and age right now, questioning where we're at as a society.
As humans,
absolutely. I think the big existential questions are what he's always banging his head on the wall trying to figure out. And each film is deep in that way. So I think it's one of the reasons the films don't date.
Yeah.
Remarkably, they just don't date.
Yeah, they hold up through the test of time.
Yeah.
You had such incredible access to his own private archives. What was that like to dig in?
It was incredible. I mean, the whole process of the archive, looking through his archive, his family, some of his family footage when he was very young, like a baby almost, and then like throughout his young life, and his adolescence, and then his early adulthood. And so we were able to kind of piece together almost like a ground level view of what it was like in the periods of his life. And it's also really a chronicle of our country in the periods that he lived through.
Right.
And who he chose and topics to go after. And I was reading his love of cinema came from when he had asthma. He couldn't play sports, and just even how he fell in love with the cinema and the movies. And you sat down, you did interviews with Robert De Niro, Leonardo DiCaprio, Steven Spielberg, Sharon Stone. That must have been incredible bringing these people together.
It was, and it was kind of not all obvious to me who was going to be interviewed or who we needed to interview. Because, no, we pieced it together because it was such a long process. At first, I thought this was a feature film, actually. And then it just grew because there's just no way you can keep this life and all this magnificent work in 2 hours. And that's why it grew to 5 hours.
Little did you know.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be done a long time ago.
Now, if people don't know, tell them who you're married to.
Daniel Day-Lewis.
And he's also a part of this.
Yes, he's interviewed in it.
And that, I'm assuming that's when you said that you had you had met Martin Scorsese along the way.
On the Gangs of New York.
On the Gangs of New York.
Yeah. I had met him on Gangs of New York. And briefly, I mean, we weren't really socially friends after that, but we were friendly, and I had a real sense. And he had given me advice, actually, for a film called Personal Velocity. He gave me some advice about voiceover films to watch.
Cool.
And then he watched Personal Velocity, and then would watch my films after that and give me little notes. And that sort of was our relationship before I came to ask him to do this.
But I find that fascinating because you were able to take his feedback and use it, right? So that you were gaining trust all those years to be able to get to this point.
Yes, and he also knew me really well as a filmmaker. So that was, I think, important. And he had seen my other documentaries. So I think that was really a big part of the reason, like apart from just sort of knowing me to talk to say hi to,
And so what was one of your big takeaways then after the 5-part docuseries is complete and all those hours and hours of interviews? Was there something that you thought, wow?
Well, so many things, first of all, but I would say that, you know, he's the most, as a person, he's so honest to himself.
Interesting.
I think it's very unusual that people don't lie to themselves a little bit about who they really are. And he's so honest to himself, and I think you can feel that honesty in the films, in the way he approaches these characters. Often like quote-unquote sinners or people that you don't necessarily think of as heroes, but yet he gives them he honors them so much. And partly it's because of his own honesty to himself.
Well, I love that. You can see it in almost all of his films, in that way.
Yeah.
The film comes out Friday. I'm very, very excited. Is this something that I'm going to binge, or do I need to
divide it up
in between?
Well, people are watching the series. A lot of people are binging it. It seems like the few people who have watched it. I'm getting that a lot. And
they want it all.
They want it all, but of course you can watch one at a time. It's up to you.
Maybe one at a time. Watch The Aviator. Watch something else. Watch Goodfellas.
I'm hoping it brings people back to some of the films that they either missed or want to watch again.
Yes.
Exactly.
Oh, that's what a good docuseries does. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Thank you.
The 5-part docuseries, Mr. Scorsese, premieres on Apple TV on Friday. That's this Friday, October 17th.